Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick video about the Marvel World Playset. It's a cityscape made out of die-cut, heavyweight cardboard. Every piece of cardboard has color graphics printed on both sides. It came out in 1975 during the Bronze Age of comic books and was brought to us by Amsco, which was a Milton Bradley company. The playset depicts the major buildings from Marvel Comics. These include Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, the Fantastic Four's Baxter building and plane, Peter Parker's home, the Daily Bugle, and Avengers Mansion. In the comics, all these buildings are found in New York City, and in this set, they're all found on the same block. This is a bit of a stretch, because Peter Parker and his Aunt May traditionally live in Queens, and the other buildings are in Manhattan, but I won't say anything if you don't. The set also comes with 36 cardboard figurines that fit into small plastic stands. The buildings and characters are highly comic accurate, which was rather rare for merchandise at the time. It sold for $6.95, and if you ordered it by mail, they asked for a whopping 89-cent postage and handling fee. It was marketed to ages 5 and up. Me, I'm pretty sure I'm over 5. So here's the box cover with some of the promotional information. Here's an old advertisement for Marvel World that ran in the pages of old 70s comics. So the consensus on the web is that it was probably drawn and inked by either John Romita Sr. or Sal Buscema, or some combination of the two. They were both very popular Marvel artists in the 1970s. Sources say that the buildings were inked by Marvel artist Dave Hunt. Sections of the artwork seem to be inspired by some of the other early greats. For example, Reed Richards' lab has some fantastic equipment that is styled after Steve Kirby drawings, and the Sanctum has mystic art that channels Steve Ditko's work. The set itself is pretty rare, and there's not much about it online. When I wanted to see a video of it in the round, I couldn't find one, and that's why I figured I'd make one. I actually got this in the mail today from a great guy named Steve in San Francisco whose auction I won on eBay. I set an automatic search notification for the set 2 years ago, and this was the first one I was alerted about. Now, I wish I had a complete and undamaged set to show you. Unfortunately, this is incomplete and a little damaged, but we can pretend, right? So here are the assembly instructions, and this is the playset broken down. So guys, we're talking 1975. This was a world after Star Trek, which came out in 1966, but before Star Wars, 1977. Marvel had been named Marvel since 1961, and thus it only existed for 13 years. The same goes for Spider-Man and Iron Man. The X-Men had been around for 11 years, but most of their iconic characters had yet to be introduced in giant-size X-Men #1. This is why there are no X-Men in the figurine lineup. They just hadn't become popular enough yet. The characters in the set were Marvel's major players at the time, and remember, in 1975, these characters took a back seat to DC Comics' stable of more popular characters. So the bottom of the box was actually the base for the set, and here you can see me putting the buildings on the base. It was fun. I thought it was really fun putting it together. There were some missing edges, but I went ahead and scanned the other side, printed it out, cut it out, and taped it on. So kind of cheating, but I felt like it looked better. And here it is with some of the characters. So there were a number of different Amsco playsets. There was Space 1999, the Planet of the Apes adventure set, the Walton's playset, a Pioneer playset, and a Roy Rogers set. And after, there were a number of related Milton Bradley products. The set that I got did not come with all the figurines, so I printed them out from some scans I found online, cut them out, and taped them to quarters, which worked out alright. Some of these characters didn't seem like they were the right size to me, so that's the normal sized Galactus on the left. I scanned him, printed him out bigger, and cut that out. Hulk was pretty much the same way. I felt like he was too small. And then Captain Marvel, in my opinion, was too big, so I made him a little smaller. So here's newspaper chief J. Jonah Jameson looking for his most lucrative but least respected photojournalist on the 20th floor of a downtown LA high-rise. Not quite the right city though, huh? So as you'll see here, 9 of the figures have their alternate identity on the back. So here's Hulk and Bruce Banner, Spider-Man and Peter Parker, the Green Goblin and Norman Osborn, Sif and Jane Foster, who are actually 2 separate characters, Iron Man and Tony Stark, Daredevil and Matt Murdock, Captain America and Steve Rogers, Thor and his alter ego Donald Blake, and Captain Marvel and Marvel. So who do we have here, guys? Huh? Who's here? Well, we've got Dr. Octopus, Kraven, the Red Skull, Green Goblin, Loki, Namor, Dr. Doom, the Lizard, Thing, Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, the Human Torch, Galactus and the Silver Surfer, Captain America, Shang-Chi, Falcon, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Thor, Doctor Strange, Hulk, Luke Cage, Sif, Valkyrie, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Daredevil. And down here we have Donald Blake, Tony Stark, Jane Foster, Mary Jane Parker, Bruce Banner, J. Jonah Jameson, May Parker, Marvel, Peter Parker, Steve Rogers, Norman Osborn, and Matt Murdock. That's who we got, guys. Oh wait, and let's not forget about the Falcon's pet falcon, Red Wing. So this is Peter Parker in Aunt May's townhouse in Forest Hills, Queens. I think the second story here is Peter Parker's bedroom. He has some chemistry equipment, probably to make his webbing. We've got a trophy, a framed picture of Aunt May, a lab coat, and some books. And I think of this as Aunt May's living room, this first story. We have a fireplace, a candelabra, a clock, a porcelain dish, a phone, a writing desk, and stool. Really detailed. Here we have the interior of the Daily Bugle. This is the second story, J. Jonah Jameson's office. And the first story with a little cot and an elevator. This is sort of inside Avengers Mansion. And now inside the Baxter building. We have a workout room. And Mr. Fantastic's laboratory. A working elevator. Let me show you some of the set's other interactive play features. So here, Avengers Mansion has a garage door that's actually a trap door. And the little characters can fall through. Here we have Bruce Banner. Can't get in that wall, but if he changes into the Hulk, you bet he can get in. Puny bricks. Here's the side door to Aunt May's home and the front entrance to the Baxter building, which is also the back side of the elevator. So here's the top of the set. You can see the roofing, vents, HVAC equipment, and skylights. And over here on the top of Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, we have another large skylight known as the Window of Worlds. And that symbol there is the sign of the Vishanti. Of course, underneath that skylight is his inner sanctum. And here you can see him practicing the mystic arts with his friend, Wanda Maximoff. And you really do get a pretty cool multi-layered effect here. The characters actually fit inside the elevator, which I thought was pretty cool. So at the risk of being repetitive, I wanted to show you guys a little bit more detail. This time I've got the flash on. You can really see the machinery, the colors, the counterweight for the elevator there on the left. This looks like the lobby or entrance to the Baxter building. I believe this here is the basement of the Daily Bugle, and it's really in quite a state of disarray. We got a broken mirror, an unkept shelf, an unmade bed, and we've got a pinup model there on the wall. And then when you come up here to Jonah's office, you really gotta love this Spider-Man dartboard over here on the left. So the nature of this rear central building here is a bit unclear. I think the exterior is supposed to be Avengers Mansion, but the interior is a room full of Jack Kirby-esque machinery opening a portal into the negative zone. So again, Amsco was the toy division of Milton Bradley. Milton Bradley was an American board game manufacturer established by a Mr. Milton Bradley in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1860, long time ago. So it makes sense that Milton Bradley would utilize the die-cutting facilities that they used for board games to make cardboard playsets like this one. Milton Bradley was bought out by Hasbro in 1984, ending 124 years of family ownership. Hasbro still has a working contract with Marvel Comics, and they're responsible for the successful Marvel Legends action figure line, which can be found at just about every Target and Walmart in the United States. I think the artists really outdid themselves. It's incredibly detailed, the color is very vibrant, even more so in bright light or direct sunlight. So this was a board game, also from Milton Bradley, 5 years later, 1980, Marvel Superheroes. It used the same figurines and was clearly inspired by it. Another cool thing about it is it used the same plastic stands, so you can use them with your Marvel World figurines, and it came with a figure not included in Marvel World, the Mandarin. And these are 3 sets that came before Amsco Marvel World. So Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man, they came out in 1973 and had very similar cardboard figurines. So I really believe that these 3 sets helped inspire Marvel World. Let's take a quick look at them. Now I would say that these ideal figures are about 50% bigger than the Marvel World figures. Superman and his villains, and then Spider-Man. So it was the figurines and the backdrops. So even though the figures from these different sets are not the same size, you can put them together and pretend they are. In fact, let's do it. Betty, Robbie, you haven't seen that kooky Peter Parker anywhere, have you?
I can't find him anywhere. Huh?
I'm just sure he's up to no good.
What am I paying this kid for anyway?
When the characters are blown up like this, you can really see the detail a lot better. Here we have a little bit of a Fantastic Four diorama. It kind of recreates their first encounter with Galactus. How beautiful is this depiction of Sue Storm? So this is the official 1975 Amsco catalog with a description of Marvel World and some details about it. Allow me to include one last outside shot. Feel free to call me crazy, but I think it's fun to put it up against a real cityscape and watch it blend in with the skyline. So in the description for this video is a URL that will take you to a post on my blog, which has a little more information on the set, some photographs of it, and digital scans of the characters and buildings so that you can print them yourself to build your own Marvel world. Really fun set. Thank you guys for tuning in.
And if you see Parker, send him to my office, will ya?